lecturer and therefore I'm given some kind of formal authority. Simple as that. It's like, you know, I have power over somebody if I get that person to do something otherwise wouldn't do or wouldn't do it as well. This is the AB formula. The capacity of individuals to overcome resistance. For a manager, you know, there you've got a bunch of guys on Monday morning, you know, they've just found out they get no wage rise, there's going to be some redundancies, and you have to motivate them through the week in order to attain productivity targets. And that is using your power. Some people might call it persuasion, cajoling, enticing. It's also influence is a form of power. So A has power over B. If A can get B to do something, A wishes it to do, or B wishes B to do, or get B to perform better than the expectations. That's all. It's simple stuff, isn't it? Right. Now this is some of you in fourth year, if I still here, may want to do business ethics. And Alison McIntyre is a Scottish philosopher, has worked most of his adult career. His professional career in the States is at Notre Dame just now, I think he's probably retiring. There's a book called After Virtue. I find his work very interesting. He makes this, but just in a few pages of this work, actually about virtue and Aristotle logic. He says, look, a bureaucratic manager, and he's not being rude, he says the three great characters of our times are, the celebrity, the people who look after celebrities, yeah, and the bureaucratic manager, the corporate manager. So it's true. Who here thinks Adele is a good singer? Because I know my sister, my daughter turned me on to her. I thought you thought she was a huge American superstar. I didn't know she was a girl from Tottenham. Go around like that, all that kind of stuff. So, he's right. We have created, whether it was royals in the medieval period or now, hugely famous rock stars, etc. We created a cult of celebrity. But also, corporate managers are important. And what McIntyre says is that managers, you're given raw materials perhaps, you're given individuals, you're given technology, and whether it's an office or a factory, you've got to prove your efficiency, your effectiveness, how good you are, why you should be paid more, why the organisation should be trying to poach you because you're so brilliant, because you're manipulating all these things. If I'm going to manipulate you guys, I have to get you to see the world the same way as I see it. So power isn't about, demanding you do something, it's about manipulating, and that's not necessarily a negative word. So that you see the world, and I've seen this countless times doing research. You're speaking to people who's a reason to have a legitimate grievance against employers. I was looking at Diageo a few years ago, and the bullying people often, you had shop floor employees in bottling plants admitting that, well, if no one's buying the product that you're making, then you probably don't really have a job. Me. Because I'd have thought, actually, if you made decent products, if you marketed them and sold them properly, you might sell more and have better profits. Therefore, you wouldn't be laying people off. It could be possibly the manager's fault. But in Diageo, they had got employees to see the world the same way the logic that managers require, which is a good thing in terms of effective management. So values are subordinate to management. What is right or wrong is less important when we get the job done. And if we have to compromise, then we compromise. Because what we're doing is neutral. The fact that our company makes alcohol, right? That's not wrong. Lots of companies make alcohol, right? And alcohol is like a gun. John Mayer would say it's only as good or as bad as the person who uses it. So drink responsibly. Most of you who've come to this country probably see these adverts all over the place. You go to the supermarket. Those of us who've lived here a long time have grown up and drink responsibly. You can buy 2 litres of 5% proof cider in Tesco's for $1.99. That's too late, I bought it all. £1.99, drink sensibly. You know, most of you, I got my daughter her first one, which is going to a party a couple of weeks ago. You know, these drinks, they come in little bottles of bright orange, they're called Wicked and things, you know, and plaid dogs, and they're 5% proof, and they taste like sweet. You know, they're made for adolescents who don't like the taste of beer or whiskey. But you know, when I speak to people, and I've interviewed seniors in the drinks industry, they say, we're just filling the gap in the market. We made this product for that. We don't. The law says nobody under 18 can buy or consume alcohol, and the law is the law. But you're providing a product that is designed for adolescents. That's successful. Right? So, this is a bit background. I'm not going to get into a lot of ethics. It's not my interest at all here. It's just that you've got to get the job done. Right? So, values are subordinate to pragmatic action. If I manipulate you, perhaps, you know, if I manipulate Joe, you know, Joe will feel abused. You know, if I, you know, in our social life, if I use you to get, not just an end in yourself with respect, but I manipulate you to get to something else, to have sex with your sister. If I was a lot younger, better looking, and you had a sister, but you know, and you thought, I thought Jim was my friend, he's only been doing this to get there, you know, you feel abused, you feel less respected. Perhaps it's your job as manager. Because the individuals are there, you know, I want you to work hard, I want you to be effective when you're doing things. So power is subtle in that sense, and sometimes may not have entirely ethical or moral consequences. Now, right. Okay, these notes, I'm just be repeating them ad nauseum. Rational model. Organizational goals are clear, objectives are defined. This is what we're talking about, I was talking about rather on Thursday. You know, the rational legal authority of a bureaucracy. We have hierarchy, we have a division of labour across departments, etc., and power is formal. At the top, we sit in a top management team, sit in the executive boardroom, they make decisions about strategy and policy, about use of resources, right? And that's because we're competing in a market, we're new competitors, we're looking at moving to emerging markets, we need new products for that, or redesign products. So power comes to the top, rational. The other side, you know, the political model. Right, I'm using fairly simplistic, rather crude terms. Leslie could have never swear yet. I never use bad language normally. As soon as I come into a lecture theatre, I get Tourette's symptoms. What the hell goes on? Anyway. Right, an example. The techie guys in the business school. Oh no, really, they're lovely men and women, you know, techie guys. So, right, you know, yeah, as soon as I've got a problem, I'm on my knees to these guys. I love to die off because I was writing, and I'm going to have to cut my leg off. Suddenly they've got power. No? And they certainly have to wield it so they can say, well, why be so bloody stupid, Jim? You know, or else they say, switch your computer off and on, the usual thing. But, you know, the political model shows that power shifts and can change. It's not just invested in the formal structure of authority in Weber's notion of legal rational bureaucracy. You know, also we're going to compete. Every organization, let's see, I'm in marketing, and I want more money, a bigger budget, a bigger marketing budget, because I want to go above the line marketing across Europe, across the world. Going adverts, I'm going to have a lot. And Joe is the finance director, and Joe's going, no, you're not, pal. You're not, because, you know, you big arsehole. You know, you're just trying to talk a big game, where's the rational plan, what is the return on that investment? He has power, because he holds the purse string. I'll come back to this. So Joe, as finance director, has power because, what's your name again, sorry? Adam. He's chief exec. I know, as chief exec, Adam knows the bottom line is important, so he relies a lot on Joe and Joe's advice. If you like me, they also know I'm a bit flamboyant and probably need to be reined in a wee bit. So even though we're the same level in the boardroom, you're actually more powerful. That's a principal model. You know, we compete over issues. It's always, as I said, I repeat myself, power is not always invested in the foremost structure of the organization. Right. Okay. This is from Jeffrey Pepper, charming man, Stanford, and quite a long time ago. He's quite influential when he looks at politics and organizations. Now, I've just been repeating myself. I'll look at the structural sources. Adam has more power than I because Adam is chief executive and I'm marketing director. I have more power than, what's your name, Adam? Rebecca. Charming. I have more power than Rebecca. Rebecca's a middle manager who reports to me, etc., etc. Finance, more powerful than marketing. Both of us, more powerful than human resources. Simple. It's about the solidarity. See this one here? Adam's the head of this department. And you know, he's charismatic, he looks after them, he respects his staff, he's on this and they love him. This is my team across here. I'm a lazy, fat, alcoholic bastard. When I do turn up to work, sweating profusely, I sexually harass both male and female staff because that's the way I roll. Right? They don't like me. And the thing is, I forgot Adam was chief exec, but you're chief exec. You just promoted. Well done, Joe. That's for remembering integration. Right, sorry, you're just ahead of a division or something. So the thing is, because they all love him, they all support him. And Joe, as chief exec, knows this is an effective team. So you've got a lot of power because everyone thinks, yeah, Adam's our guy. Whereas across here, you know, you're going to have to replace me because basically I'm a liability. And what's more, nobody likes me. And the thing is, this lot, there's an awful lot of sick leave required. There's a lot of resources wasted, wasted. And it's not just because I'm not really an alcoholic, it's just not nice. Let's face it, I'm just bad-tempered. I don't sexually harass anybody. I'm too full of myself. I'm arrogant. So that is a more powerful department than this. Got that? Simply because he has managed to rally his troops, and they are solidly behind him and support him. So solidarity is important. Access and control over resources is simple as that. If I need a techie, Dweeb, then you're no longer techie dweebs. It's, oh, thank you for coming. It's Mr. Fur. Thank you. It's finance department holds the resources, holds the purse strings. It's powerful. But when it's going to overseas markets and perhaps intervening in an emerging market, then marketing and sales is important because they, for a while, are absolutely crucial in penetrating that new market. So power will shift depending upon these different components. And another thing is, non-substitutability. Non-substitutability. That just means I can't be replaced. It's often the case with family firms. I run this family firm, my father did before him, and his father did before him. And, that's it. If I go, company's dissolved, and the shares go to my grandchildren. Or if it's a case that it can be non-substitutability over a period of time. It's just that right now, nobody else will solve my problem apart from one of the IT guys. Nobody else can do it. So, okay, other side, personal sources. And you probably interpret these yourselves, I'll be looking at Machiavelli shortly, albeit briefly. But physical stamina, the ability to work long hours, to work more than people, the ability to be seen to be able to be strong in that sense. To be able to cut to the chase in decision making, not end You know, because the thing is, remember, we all suffer from bounded rationality. That means we can never know the entire range of possible options available to us for any given decision. Therefore, the individual who can work out the 2 or 3 best options, analyse them, and lay them on the table in front of the other decision makers becomes highly influential. The ability to focus, and then the ability to have that radar, intuition, to know what's happening in the organisation around about you. You know, I have interviewed people who talk about it, senior managers. You know, you can't see through walls. You can't be in meetings in different parts of the world, but you become very aware that if something's going to affect your interests, you see the signs. You call it intuition if you want. You start to read, you have a radar, you start to read the organisation. You can see the signs and you know how to act. This will also add to your ability to gain and attain and use power. You know, flexibility, toughness, and diplomacy, of course, is important because, you know, naked power very rarely works in organisations. I can come up to somebody and say, I'm going to beat your brains out, and all I'm going to do is get sacked by Joe for threatening somebody because it's illegal, immoral. But if I'm able to say, look, Adam, let's go outside, let's have a cup of coffee and talk about this. The point is, we've both got something that interests you together, something, and something seems to be of a joint interest. There's diplomacy, whether it's in politics, whether it's in the world of work, is important. Now you can read this for yourself. I think, you know, James Buchanan make a good fit stop explaining Geoffrey Pfeffer. Now, so just to sum up a wee bit. So I can be powerful. Joe can be powerful because he's chief executive. I can be powerful because he's popular as head of his department. Or I need a bigger marketing budget, so Joe has more power than me. Our relationship is dependent on me trying to get Joe to reach a bigger marketing budget. So I can go into an emerging economy, sell all this redesigned product, make a lot of money and look really good and get a big bonus, and etc. And I've also, you know, we said that there is a formal aspect of power. There is a hierarchy, there are formal structures of power, and power is embedded in those formal structures. That's just to catch up before I turn to this. Right. Now, this is the one that the Snow Queen, my wife, has always used. And way back in 1959, French invasion. And it says, you know, there are different types of power, and they are, you know, kind of, you know, they can be related, might not only exclusively have one, they can change over time, and often they're to do with relationships between people. I don't know why I've got the Dalai Lama there. I have no idea, I've got the wrong text photograph. Anyway. That's like a point, he's going, yeah, right. Reward, course, right, reward, simple as this. I power over Adam because Adam would like a bigger salary and a salary rise and a better company car. And I, as the senior manager, I can do his annual appraisal and I can recommend he gets those things. So, you know, you're sucking up to me, things like that, but you have to, you know, like a bit, sucky at times. Right, coercive. Rebecca, you know, for instance, I say, you want time off because you're going to get pregnant, and you want to have a marriage. You want to get married first, you know. Well, that's for some people. Sorry, Rebecca, I'll try and rephrase this. Coercive power is the ability to stop you getting something you want, or to threaten your welfare or your livelihood in some way. So, for instance, I have power over Rebecca because she needs 2 weeks in July for her marriage and her honeymoon, right? And she knows, she doesn't like me, and she knows I don't like her very much, because I've got the ability to punish her, to coerce you not to get something you want. So, one side reward, the other side coerce. Legitimate, simply I have legitimate power over Adam or Rebecca because I'm their departmental head. So that's formal authority. Referent charisma, this is Adam now. Referent is charisma. It's part of the personality. You have power because people like you. people are attracted to. And expert, that is, once again, one of the IT guys has power because he's technically expert at something. It could be anything where technical expertise is required. Finance, marketing, human resources, corporate social responsibility, whatever it is. Or ability to, in our house, ability to change a light bulb, which makes me hugely proud. Right. Okay. These bases of power are dynamic, can be combined, and can change over time. But you can also recognize them. You know, some of you will not want to do this, and I realize that, I appreciate it, but you can see it in university, you can see it in classes, amongst your friends, in the societies you're involved with, in the sports teams you're involved with. This is a very, very practical view of power. Franklin Raven, the brilliance, the genius was to make it that. Now the thing is, things can change over time. I was able to reward Adam, but they heard him made redundant. You know, now I was able to reward Adam, but no, now I've got to make him redundant, or I've got to make people in his team redundant. So I've gone from being able to reward you to being coercive. So the damage of interest, because I've been given, Joe has given me the job of reducing the headcount in your department. So from being, you know, and what's more, I've lost some of my charisma. You certainly have, because your people are getting slapped, and they love you because you're all very friendly, funny guy, really good at your job. But now you've lost some of that charisma because of their jobs are going, and they see you as part of the blame. So it changes over time. This is pathetic. So you can tell I'm getting old. The example of Barack Obama, formal, you know, that gets in the bottom right hand, expert power. Simon Cowell, you know, referent power, because he's nice and happy, and the Branson guy, and Adam Sugar, he's got both coercive and reward power. That thing which I never watched. Anyway, but that's just because at some point in late summer, I became a senile old git, and I found out I could transport photographs into PowerPoint frames. You know, you've probably known that for 10 years. I only found out in August, oh look at that, look what I can do. That's horrible, you know, don't do it, well don't do it. Right, Machiavelli, one of my favourite characters from history. Machiavelli wrote the famous book of The Prince, and really, I can't go into history, we don't have time, I will do if other courses that you may or may not do with me. Machiavelli wrote The Prince as a guidebook to anybody who wanted a prince who wanted to unify Italy, which was split apart into city-states at the time. And he wasn't, he's a lovely man, he's a Republican, he believed in human rights, but he looked at history and looked at examples from history. And this is what he found. We call people Machiavelli, but that's to do with how he described correct behaviour in the prince, not to do with him as an individual. And it's about manipulation. It's about, it may use or require deceit. But it's about getting, this is a bit of what McIntyre talked about, is getting people to do things, A, getting B to do things we wouldn't otherwise do. And, you know, for instance, you know, he talked about, for a prince, is it better for a prince to be feared or loved? And the answer is quite simple, it's good. He said, you know, love is easy, isn't it? You know, when things are going well, I'm the prince. When things are going well and you're all getting lands and getting riches somewhere in medieval Renaissance, rather, Renaissance Italy, and yeah, I'm popular. But things go bad, we're invaded suddenly, you know, I'm less popular. But when things are going well, you get to do anything for me, give me your children. When things go badly, suddenly I lose my influence. It's all my fault. But is it better to be loved or feared? But if you fear me, fear what I can do to you, that's much stronger. You know? Why do you think, for instance, the Sicilian mafia or the US, the American mafia, you know, experience, absolutely effective. If you don't do what I say, you're going to put your head up. And you've seen it happen in the past. It's no false. So false challenge, I'll do it. So I bet both would be good, but better be feared or loved, better be feared. Also in the world of business. Better have a mixture of fear and love, but you know, at the end of the day, people respect you because they're scared to get the wrong side of you, that they have power. And you will do things, you will compromise yourself to stay on the right side of it. So, primary method for achieving power is the manipulation of others. And you know, I'm just adding Machiavelli into the stew, whatever that is, the Scottish term is, into the mix here. It's not something you're going to read a lot about. Just I think it's an interesting view because the prince, you can take, I have done this for the business ethics course, you can take bits out of the prince and you can apply them. They are completely relevant for corporate executive management. It's not a criticism of corporate executive management, it's a dynamic world. Machiavelli is interesting. Now, something else I like. Look, Stephen looks very, very kind of, you know, I'm now looking at different views of power. I'm going to do it fairly quickly because they're all very readable in 2-3 paragraphs and it's instantly the canon. Visible power. Power secure to make a decision. I am a sergeant major and Adam is a private. You know. Stand to attention! And that's it, visible power. I don't need to look smart, stand to attention, and I have formal power as sergeant major and you're a private. Visible. Subtle. Power exercised to exclude information of the interests of others. This used to be a favourite one of mine. In the old days, before we had email, we used to have pigeonholes.
Okay.
I used to pigeonholes. You put messages in pigeonholes. No, we could turn around the light. Anyway. Ooh, bad joke. Think about pigeonholes. Little boxes with a name on it. And people put messages and letters in your box. You go in the morning, oh, look, nothing from me again. And I thought, what you do is you could have a meeting in the department, part of the business studies as was, and there's a memo. And some poor secretarial person has got to write all these memos out and photocopy them, and they go into the boxes. I don't want somebody at a meeting. So I just go in at 8:30, 8:45, and look, out that comes, oh, it wasn't in for me either. And they missed the meeting, and they can't challenge why I want to get through. So it's subtle. To exclude information, to keep you out of things, right? Keep you out of the loop. So, look, talks about institutionalized power exercised to define reality for an organization's members. Now, I mentioned McIntyre said that separately, without being aware that Luke existed, and probably vice versa. And Machiavelli also assumes that, is that if you all, one of the reasons Adam was so successful, because all his staff saw the common sense of his attitude and the way he worked. What he was doing was pursuing his own career, advancing his own career, being successful as departmental head, hoping to move up to divisional head, and then into the boardroom with Joe as chief exec. But you ought to think that he was a really good guy because he saw the world the same way as he did. McIntyre talks about him manipulating others to see the world as you see it. So as Stephen looks. Now, I have to check in the time here. Yeah. On Saturday, I took my watch, which just needs a battery, put it in my pocket, carried it around all week, past at least 44 Timpson shops where I get the battery changed to what to do with it. Right. Okay. Now, Michel Foucault. He died in 1953. Very, very important this. And well, I can't spend too much time here, but this is it. He talked about biopower. B-I-O-P-O-W-E-R. If there's a board here, I'd use it. And Anatole du Coubertin. A sacred measure of the Cree, but off the Sacred River. No, would be an actor. Right. right, this is important. Okay, biopower, how we regulate ourselves. How we behave, why we behave, why we conform, what makes us do it. Now, in a simple way, none of you remember this. I remember a time when, the world of linguistics had not changed to accommodate the important struggle of women. We have altered the English language and probably other languages as well in order to recognize the feminist ideology, feminist practices, and women's rights. All good and well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was the first generation I remember who had to not use certain words and to stop acting in certain ways and to teach myself political correctness in terms of the way, I didn't know that sex is born in my body, I'm sure, but prior to my time, I learned. I regulated myself. A lot of people did, and we do it for all kinds of issues like race, politics, whatever. Well, race and politics are the same thing, aren't they? So, he says our bodies are docile and easily manipulated. Alright? Okay, now, fine. That's what McIntyre says, that's what Machiavelli said, that's what Stephen Luke says, etc. Power gets tied with the physical imposition of practices and conditions. And this is, I've got to come off the stage. Like a Chamonix, he leapt from out to out. Right, okay. Right. Jeremy Bentham, you don't know who he is, he was an English philosopher, 18th century, and utilitarian, and in his spare time he designed prisons. What would he do? And he had this brilliant idea for a prison. I'll go back up here. And he also had a board. But think of it this way, and they actually put one together in the States. Where are you going, madam?
Tutorial?
Oh! I know. Anybody else need to go? Okay, right. So, this is a circle. And it was built in the States. And in here, we have a tower. Right? These are cells. They're open. Right? I'm in here, you can't see me. You can't see me because it's closed in, because I'm using mirrored glass, whatever it is. We are there, I can see all of you, and you can't see me. Right? And we have rules. Wake up at 5:30, empty out your potty, read the Bible for 2 hours, whatever it is, right? And there's punishments for disobeying these rules. And all you guys, all these here, one each, right? And there are bars across the cells, there's a walkway around there. You obey. Now actually what you don't know is that I went off 5:30 for a pint. I'll come back around about 10, piss and pass out. But you think I'm in there. So you behave as though you're under surveillance and you regulate your own behaviour out of fear of punishment. Same way as in the 70s, and these men, decent men anyway, started to regulate the way they talked and spoke in order not to offend women. Self-regulation. And, we talked about the panoptic. This is a panopticon. This is Foucault talked about the panoptic, and it's on the overhead, so you've got it spelled out for you. And it's odd. Now, the discourse talks about the practices within a discourse. So the discourse of feminism, the discourse of whatever it is, that becomes common sense. You would think, why shouldn't women have equal rights? It's utterly common sense. And certain things have to change in order to achieve that. And in the organisation, perhaps, you do similar things. Yeah. The thing about this, is we all live it. Those of you who are not from the UK, and I can't remember, I do not know the current number, and I remember it was 2.5, 3 years ago, 4 years ago perhaps, when it was publicised on some programme on Channel 4 or BBC One Panorama, that then there were 3.5 million closed circuit television cameras in public places in the UK. Which means in most places, if you ever go, you're being watched. Many, many more than most societies apparently, and that number's increased in the UK. So we have a sense of panopticon in the society we live in. You know, if you know that, if you don't know that, then you're still going to, start throwing bottles down the street and killing people and mugging, etc. If you do know that, you're going to alter your behaviour. Especially it's dark, you don't know where the cameras are. It's not like big camera goes, I am a CCTV television camera and I'm making a noise and bleeping so you can see me. You keep behaving. Hey, what there? There's one there, look, look at that, one there, you think it's a fire alarm. It's a camera. Please don't know. So you kind of, regulate your behaviour. Now, universities and factories all over different parts of Europe and North America, you basically have cameras in the production area, cameras in the canteen area, camera anywhere. So everyone's there. Who's seen Breaking Bad? Who knows Breaking Bad? When the lab, they're cooking the meth and suddenly the white character, the main character, he recognises there's a CCTV kind of looking at him. Again, that's what man I'm talking to. The point is, companies have done that. Not because of evil, but because they can regulate what's happening within the confines of a production area or whatever it is. So, we regulate ourselves, not just because of rules, but because we want to conform and fear of punishment. What becomes abnormal or abnormal practice is defined as discourse, that is, those ideas brought together that become commonsensical. It could be about the free market. That in your, actually longer in your lifetime, one of the great changes has been the notion of neoliberalism, that free markets should be allowed to function and not be encumbered in any way by government or unions or anything else. That free markets are the essence to not just efficiency and productivity, but individual liberty. And that is a discourse. I mean, those of you in Britain, from Britain, now you won't remember this because you were born, but when New Labour eventually got elected in '97, with Tony Blair at the head, they moved so far to the right that Margaret Thatcher said, well, at least they're carrying on, at least they're carrying on what we're doing, carrying on our work. And because of that powerful, it's a discourse. And nobody actually owns it. You can say in the factory that, the people who say that, Joe's chief exec said, yeah, put down CCTV cameras up here or there, whatever. But okay. But it might not be working. Just like I went for a pint when I was inside the tower in the centre of the circle, in the original panopticon. So, display practices, right? Alright, resistance to display practices reinforces the need for such practices. Right? If I turn and say, all women are sluts and should stay at home with our children, all of you will go, what on earth is utterly obscene and disgraceful? I should think so as well. But to put it in a less politically hot context, the same thing. I say, why have we got cameras up there? It means I'm at work, I was going to smoke a joint here, I can't smoke a we didn't smoke a joint at work. So resistance, for my part, recalcitrant, silly man, I should like to drive fast in front of schools. Go right over that zebra crossing, 100 miles an hour, the little guys give me go. No. I know it's a bizarre example, but it's just clearly the case that children's care and driving responsibly in built up areas near schools has to be reinforced because there are idiots like me about. So, resistance to discipline practices reinforces the need for such practices. Now, how much time have I got without rushing this? I don't want to rush. Couple of minutes. I'm going to rush this actually. What I'm going to do, and I did mention this to you on Tuesday, it does not mean that I will endlessly be catching up with the lecture. But I'm going to spend 10 minutes finishing this lecture properly on Thursday, and then do the lecture for Thursday and complete it by the time we finish. Is that okay with you guys? Because if I just wash, garble, it's not really, a very constructive lecture. But I need 10 minutes on Thursday. We agree with that? Okay. Well, thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.